We've examined the role of money in our lives and learned how to set financial goals. Now we'll look how to make an effective spending plan. This spending plan will be your best tool. Use it to reach your personal financial goals. There's a word that many of us hate to hear. The word is budget. People think it's a bad word because they think that a budget means being deprived of the things that they want. But what if it's not about denial? What if a budget is really about having the power to get the things you want? It's your money. You worked hard for it. You and you alone get to choose how to spend it. So it's not about denying yourself the things that you want. It's about your power to make choices. Choices that will let you get the things that mean the most to you.
You're right. Experts agree that it helps to call it a spending plan instead of a budget. Remember, you're not denying yourself or pinching pennies. Instead, you're spending your money according to your plan to get what you want most.
After discussing personal finances with so many people, I can tell you that most of them never wrote down their true income and expenses down on paper. This left them with an inaccurate picture of their financial situation. And without that knowledge, they were less likely to achieve their financial goals. We've said that our goals are a map for achieving what we want. Well, a spending plan is the vehicle that will take you on that trip. A spending plan shows you exactly how much money you have, how much money is being spent, and where it's being spent. Your spending plan allows you to prepare for the ups and downs in both your income and expenses, and still save for what you want most. A spending plan puts you in control of your money. And a spending plan also helps you avoid using credit that doesn't serve your goals or spending money you don't have. Having an accurate view of your expenses will also help you make better decisions, show you where it's possible to save money, and show you if your income and spending is unbalanced.
Step 1 in creating a spending plan is to calculate exactly how much net income you have on a monthly basis. Let's start with the terminology. The first thing we need to understand is the difference between gross income and net income. This most likely is a review for most of you, but gross income is the total amount of money you make. Net income is the amount of money you actually take home after deductions for taxes, insurance, and anything else that comes out of your paycheck. Income can differ from time to time, so it's important to calculate all sources of net income to an accurate monthly average. Averaging income into equal monthly amounts is what gives us control. If you get paid twice a month, like on the 1st and 15th, then just take the net amount of the check and multiply by 2 to get your monthly amount. But if you're paid every other week, things are different. Instead of getting 24 checks a year, you'll get 26. So to calculate your monthly average, you must take the net amount of all 26 paychecks, then divide by 12 months. This will give you an accurate average monthly net if you're paid every 2 weeks. Remember to include all your sources of income, pension, retirement, child support, and payroll.
If you have regular, steady income that doesn't change over the course of the year, these calculations are all you need. But some of you have what's called variable income, commissions, a seasonal second job, bonuses, overtime, or other income that varies in amount or frequency. Here are a few rules for irregular income sources. When you estimate bonuses, overtime, or commissions, it's better to be too low than too high. These sources of income are rarely sure things, but use a number that you can feel fairly confident that you can count on. Take this estimated yearly amount and divide by 12. This will give you a monthly average of any income that varies in frequency or amount. Now that you've calculated a monthly average of your household's net income, the next step is to do the same with all your monthly expenses.
Step 2 in making a spending plan is to calculate a monthly average for everything you spend money on and for your goals. It's essential to calculate all your expenses on a monthly basis. There are 3 categories of expenses: fixed, variable, and periodic. Fixed expenses are the ones that are the same amount and are due at the same time, every time. Examples of fixed expenses are things like rent or car payments. Variable expenses are most of our other expenses, things that we pay for regularly but vary in amount from month to month, like groceries, gasoline, and utilities. The final category is periodic expenses. Periodic expenses include medical expenses, car repairs, home repairs, or anything that you don't have on a regular basis. We also want our plans to include a monthly amount for an emergency fund and any other goals we're working on.
Fixed expenses are predictable, and because they're so predictable, fixed expenses are the easiest to plan for. Variable expenses are a little trickier. For example, childcare costs that are usually higher in the summer and lower during the school year. So to get an accurate monthly average of a variable expense like childcare, you add up a year's worth of bills and then divide by 12. Just as with variable income, converting your variable expenses to equal amounts allows for accuracy, and that creates certainty. If you can't get bills or find the entries in your checkbook, do your best to estimate. Now, periodic expenses are the hardest because they are unexpected expenses. The fact of the matter is that we should all anticipate and expect the so-called unexpected, because sooner or later these expenses will occur. We don't plan to get sick or replace a refrigerator, but at some point we all will.
For our spending plans to work, we need accuracy and certainty. If we average everything, both income and expenses, accurately, then we can be certain that if we stick to our plan, we'll have a balanced budget and get where we want to be. For instance, teachers who have little income during the summer know that if they spend all year long according to their spending plans, then when summer comes, they'll have enough money for their expenses. Because they're spending according to their plans, not according to what's in the bank. If their plans have accounted for the months with little or no income, then there will be money in their account for those months.
Since our expenses vary and so can our income, our spending plan has to average everything. If your utility bills go way down in the summer, you can think that you have all kinds of extra money. But if you spend according to an accurate plan, you'll know that it isn't extra money, it's money you're going to need in the winter. So if you leave that extra money in your account, you'll have the money you need for utilities when they increase, just by following your spending plan. In addition to balancing your income and expenses, a spending plan is the vehicle to reach your personal financial goals, because it includes those goals. Once you've taken the time and effort to create an accurate plan, you'll have the power to reach the finish line on your goal map. That's what a good spending plan does. It gives you power over your money. Then all you have to do is stand by your plan.
Now that we have an accurate spending plan, step 3 is to track our spending and stop money leaks. Figuring out where you spend your money lets you monitor yourself and make adjustments so you can stay on your spending plan. Tracking your spending means you'll always know where your money's going. Have you ever started the week with money in your wallet and ended up on Thursday with no money? Wondering where in the world it went? Well, that's what happens when you have money leaks. Money mysteriously leaks out of your wallet, and the next time you look, it's gone. Tracking our spending helps us stop the money leaks that get in the way of reaching our goals and getting what we want. The best way to track your spending and stop money leaks is to write down every penny you spend, at least for a while. It's not fun, but it's worth it. Carry a little notebook and a pencil and write down every penny you spend for one day. If you get a soda out of a machine, write it down. Remember, it's only one day, and you can do anything for one day, right? You'll be surprised at how small purchases like lunches, newspapers, snacks, coffee, extra stops at the grocery store can add up. Start with one day, then try to make it for a week. It's really best to do it for a month because our spending plan uses the monthly measurement. An added benefit of tracking your spending is that you'll think twice about spending money. Remember this concept of tracking your spending as track to stay on track. I think you'll be amazed at the money leaks you'll find. Okay, now, what if you follow all the steps to make your spending plan accurate and you look at it and your income and expenses don't balance? That's where step 4, review and adjust, comes in.